All right, guys, we don't come again. This time, now PDP I swear people, now come out court so as a baby. Don't come out now, come talk, say, we are going all the way to our P court. If you don't stop for there, we will go all the way to Supreme Court. Now, I need to hear waiting as a baby one talk now. The PDP chairman for Edo State one talk. But before that one go talk, APC spokesperson come out, come talk. He said now Obaseki caused the insecurity with the Edo State. He said they win. He said for court not the judge case based on say ESA. He said court the judge case based on what they can have in their hands. The way this man take talk so, and the way Abati and Rufai take takwa, he don't talk finish. Now the baby can't talk. So now two video now we combine together. One and one look. So one and one watch so make we watch them together.
Security network was legitimate. Why was it disbanded? Edo security network was legitimate. Why was it disbanded?
Let me explain something to you. It's not about legitimate or not being legitimate. It's about the training. The training. This same Uromi crisis was not caused by the Uromi people. It was caused by the vigilante, one of the unprofiled vigilante member who drew the attention of the Uromi people to a group of persons that were traveling. He saw them. He was the one who saw them and shouted kidnappers. And you know the way Nigeria is today. Because of what the Uromi people, the Esan people, the Edo people have suffered in the hands of bandits who oppress them, who humiliate them, who rape their sisters and their wives within the farmlands. When these vigilantes shouted, see kidnapper, see kidnapper, that was what spurred the people of Uromi to react the manner which they reacted. We are not justifying the manner they reacted or whatever they did, but I'm trying to establish here that it was the shortfall of Obaseki's administration. It was these vigilantes that Obaseki was using as governor, and some of them who are still operating illegally that caused this. But the governor had to sack the head of the agency for not knowing that some of these illegal vigilantes that were established by Obaseki are still in operation. Okay, and let me also make you understand this. The governor has been very, very proactive.
Can you hear me?
In terms of security.
Can you hear me? Please, you can come and play politics all you want, but we know you are being political. That same vigilante group had also put in place security and restored hope to the Uromi people that the same governor, Kwebolo, have let down. He has not gone to visit them, even when the women were protesting. He had not solved the security problem, but he went to Kanu, which we also say, yeah, it's good to extend the hands of fellowship to the people that were hurt, which we condemn their killing. So please, do not come here to play politics. Let's face the judgment that we are talking about, because that same vigilante group had stepped in the gap and had provided security to the people the same governor is failing on. Most importantly, the question I'd like to ask today is the fact that, no, let me finish, please. The question I'd like to ask today is the fact that the PDP is feeling disgruntled. They feel that despite the court said they did a good job at chronologically loading all their evidence and they called up a lot of witnesses, which when the examination was going on, a lot of people saw how robust their work was. But in the end, the court is saying they didn't, help them through the evidence. Take, for instance, they brought the Beavers machine. They didn't walk the Beavers machine for them. The question is, I'll ask you, and I don't know if you're a lawyer, what now makes up the Evidence Act? And that's why they feel disgruntled and they have every right to go to the Court of Appeal. What makes up the Evidence Act? That's just it. In your own opinion, what evidence should the PDP have brought forward?
The great Rufai, the great Rufai, I appreciate you, but you know, when you talk, I also have a right to speak to the issues raised by you. And you know, you don't live in Uromi, you don't live in Edo State. I live in Edo and in Abuja. And I can tell you the security situation in Edo. The governor is doing everything possible to curb the issue of insecurity in the state. And don't also forget, the governor is not a miracle worker. The governor is not a magician. He has to follow due processes. And today in Edo State, the DSS, the police, the army, the navy, the custom, the immigration, and all security agencies cannot complain anymore of resources. They cannot complain of instrument to work. It's just a matter of time that we'll begin to see the results of the governor's investment in the security system in Edo State. Now you are coming to tell the court that what you know about this election was based on hearsay. Are you saying that the people who were at the polling unit, the coalition agents, were dead, were not available?
Dr. Agbamre,
so what I'm trying to make you understand, is that there was no case.
If I can get a word in sideways, I mean, it's already established that this matter is not ending so soon. It's going to go all the way to the Supreme Court. But everyone knows that, you are very passionate about your support for Senator Monday Okpewolo. So that's very clear. But I'm surprised that you are not wearing your spy uniform. During the other time you were wearing spy, or is it SPY they call them, in protest against a certain process. Are you going to do it this time around in the course of this process?
I was trained, Dr. Abati, I was trained by the Nigerian police to be a spy supernumerary chief superintendent of police. And my training made me believe and made me know that I have a duty to my country, Nigeria, and to protect the lives and property of Nigerians as a spy police officer. And what I did through the election, without apology, was rendering a duty not to APC, not to anybody, but to Nigerians. So that is not an error. I did not do that in error. And if I had the opportunity again to do it, I would do it again. Because what I did was to push away those who were ready to feast on the resources of Edo people. And I did that defending my country, Nigeria, defending the people of Nigeria. So I have no regret I did that. And I'm telling you, I am a proud supernumerary chief superintendent of police. I'm not a conventional police. A conventional police may not do such.
Well, Doctor, thank you for joining us. Before now, we had a spokesperson for the APC on the program who said he's a good lawyer. I don't think he should have said that, because that would be interpreted as a self-advertisement. And he also said your lawyers were stammering in court. How did you people end up with stammerers? Is that an offense? But basically what the tribunal said is that you couldn't discharge the burden of proof in your representations before the tribunal. Just your right of reply, just in case you watched the earlier guest we had on this program.
Ruben, thanks for having me. I missed that program. I didn't watch it, but I have an idea of what you will have said. So I can't thank you enough for having me, for having this right of reply. Now, let's be clear on what we had yesterday. Yesterday, there was massive, huge travesty of justice. The tribunal, the three-man tribunal chaired by Justice Wilfred Apochi, for whatever reason, turned jurisprudence on its head. Now, when they say our lawyers were stammering, just to say that none of the lawyers yesterday spoke in court. So there was no issue of anybody, there was no need for anybody to stammer. Because it was just the judges to reel out the judgments that they have, the conclusion they got in those judgments. But what are the facts? What did we take to the tribunal? What did we expect them to look at? We have consistently said that we do not have any issues with the elections at the 4,500 polling units in Edo State. Elections were held at that level. What we have said, which we took to the tribunal, was that there was substantial non-compliance with the provisions of the Electoral Act. And we broke it down in two parts. Number one, they did not fill, the INEC did not fill Form EC25B, where the Supreme Court has said, if you don't fill those forms, all the results from those units affected are null and void. Now, Ruben, you permit me to say this. The Form EC25B is not filled at the polling units. It's filled at the RAC centers. A RAC center is Registration Area Center. And it's filled a day before the elections at the RAC centers, where you have the SPOs and the presiding officers. There is no political party agent at the RAC centers. So how do you expect a political party's agent to come to the court to testify to a place where he's not supposed to be, to give credence to the fact that the Form EC25B, which was not filled in 320 polling units, which will have taken out of APC's votes about 46,000 votes. You say we should have called a polling unit agent to come there. That is travesty of justice. That is not right. That is not in Nigeria we want to live with. That is not in Nigeria we want to bequeath to our kids. Second leg of our petition, we said there was overvoting in 175 polling units.
Okay. So I'd like to ask a question now, like I asked from the first guest. I don't know if you're a lawyer, because you see, we faced this problem after the presidential elections went to courts and the judgment of the Supreme Court. The question is, what's the Evidence Act like? How do you prove in this case? If a court says you brought Beaver's machine, but you just brought some recording somewhere of the Beaver, are you supposed to be the one to operate the Beavers? Are you to prove to them in the courts? I mean, because I don't know. The same court system said you chronologically arrived at your evidence and all of that, arranged your evidence, but you didn't prove in the end that your witnesses didn't speak to the event. Please, I'm confused. Nigeria confuses me. And they confuse. I say I don't get sense. What happens? How do you prove in the Evidence Act?
That is, that is why the candidate and the party we are taking this thing to the appeal court. We have to take it to the appeal court. Just as you are confused, I am confused. I'm sure most Nigerians are confused. We don't seem to understand what the judiciary is trying to do with this country. A document is brought to your court, certified by the authority meant to certify it. The materials were brought to the court. You admitted them. In ruling on the motions, some motions brought in yesterday, he said the court admits these documents, and he overruled the objections of the second and the third respondents. And you turn back and say, no, though we admitted those documents, but the documents were dumped on us. So
who is supposed to even, work the Beaver's machine for the courts? I mean, they say you people brought Beaver's machine, but you didn't work the Beaver. Who is supposed to? I don't understand. Please, I don't, because for the interest of, I don't know how this Evidence Act happened. Dr. Martin, maybe you might have some clarity, as you are a lawyer of many years of repute and training. I don't know how these things in the Evidence Act works. That's my confusion this morning. Dr. Abatisa, over to you.
Okay, Dr. Azegbemi, if I may come in here. Now, what the tribunal said is that, yes, documents were provided in as many bags as possible, but that documents do not speak for themselves, that you have to adduce the evidence, and that it's not their duty to go on a voyage of discovery of whatever was inside those bags of evidence. In other words, they were saying that you were not able to prove your case, that's the PDP and your candidate, in terms of overvoting and non-compliance. That's what they said, to be clear. And it was your duty to discharge the burden of proof. However, there was something else that happened that I wanted to draw attention to. About 24 hours before that tribunal had delivered this verdict, there was some story in circulation about how there was a leaked ruling, and that in any case, the tribunal was going to vote 2-1, that there would be a dissenting position. At the end of the day, what that leaked, tribunal judgment has done is to say, well, the tribunal will rule against the PDP, and your candidate. How did you feel? In case you saw that story, just before, did you see it as some kind of hanky-panky in the judicial process, or you thought, well, this must be fake news or AI generated, since we're in the age of social media?
Yes, I saw that purportedly leaked tribunal judgment 24 hours before the judgment. I didn't make sense of it. I thought a few APC hotheads were just trying to boost their base, and I didn't lend credits to it. I just felt it was one of those type of things you do so that your base will not be shattered, or will not be too shattered when you lose. So for us as a party, we ignored it. We didn't, if you notice, we didn't issue any statement on that. Many people called to say, what is the party doing about that? And I said, no, we're not going to deal on rumors. We would rather deal with facts when we have them, just as we have them now. Tribunal has taken a decision which we think is clearly travesty of justice, and we think that they became effectively the fourth respondent in this case. And that is why we are going to the appeal court. Ultimately, we'll get to the Supreme Court and make sure that this travesty, the will of Edo people, which they freely expressed on the 21st of September, is up ahead when they voted massively for Aso Ighodalo and the PDP during that election.
When I don't hear two of these people, the APC spokesperson, I take tackle Obaseki, tackle Aswen, tackle the judgment will happen for the tribunal yesterday. Now don't still hear the PDP Edo State Chairman Azegbemi waiting down and talk, and their proceedings, where did they go next? Now, me want ask you now, wait to be your own take. You advise PDP may they go appeal court, or may they furthermore go to Supreme Court, or may they kukuma just enter house? For me, no ask me, now me ask you. You don't say this matter, it be as it gets. Edo State, don't dabaru, it don't dabaru, it don't dabaru. Anyway, guys, put it on the comment section. Let me hear your own opinion. What's your take in all that is currently happening right now in Edo State concerning the judgment yesterday? Join us every day, 7 p.m. Nigerian time. Let's talk about the things that's affecting you and I on our platform. Share our videos and like our videos. This is NAIJA Watch Media. Take care and bye for now.